I like comics because they're different from any other entertainment medium you can find. Books are just words, TV's just pictures, but comics combines the best of everything and challenges you to look at things in new ways.
Why I love comic books. Combination of writing and image. Yeah, it's just good. It's good storytelling. You get really good storytelling with great art. Same way like with opera, you get it's kind of the same idea.
Me myself, I like comic books because you can go all kind of places that you wouldn't dare go for real.
Oh my god. My answer is probably going to be totally different. I like comics. Well, it started kind of as a feminine empowerment thing. Like I saw Buffy the Vampire Slayer on TV, and I didn't really get into Buffy comic, and now it's like there's this new one, Last Chance, that I like. And it's really about girls kicking people's butts.
Well, I'll just be honest with you. In high school, I was a nerd, and this comics were a great way to sort of retreat into this fantasy world. I read all the science fiction stuff, and Batman, Superman, all the stories. That's what got me through high school.
Okay, so you yourself aren't a comic book fan, but you are the partner, the lover of a comic book lover.
Yes.
What's it like being a lover of someone that loves comics?
Well, since that's kind of what I grew up around, I mean, my dad has comics and magazines and, all the geeky related stuff everywhere. So, kind of like being
So do you put up with him, or does he have an allowance? How's it work?
No, he's free to get whatever he wants, and it's enjoyable for me because he tells me some of the stories. And if I had more time, I would definitely read more comics. I was a big Sandman fan back in the day, and Shade. I really like Shade. So it's more of management of my time. I would read lots.
I got into comics really because of Superboy in the 90s. He was cocky, he was arrogant, he was basically what I wanted to be when I was a teenager, and he slept with women in their 20s, which also appealed to me.
I got into comics when I was a kid. I was a big time reader and was just like at a little exchange shop, and the colors were really cool and it looked like something fun to read, and I was addicted like from the very first issue. So we'd just go in and start pulling, and that was it.
I've been a comics fan all my life. Ever since I was a little kid, the first ones I remember are the big, giant-size comics that no one ever remembers anymore. I had old school Marvel, and then I got converted eventually into a DC fan until I grew up, and now I'm Mr. Indie. And I don't know. I've always been a comic book fan as long as I can ever remember. I am totally immersed in it so much that I made it my life. I tried to be a self-publisher, still am sort of, but that was so successful now I distribute comics.
I got into them because I love to create stuff like that. I love to write stuff and draw stuff to make people go, wow, I'm scared of you now. But I have a respect for you, the fact that you created something.
Ditto. I like comic books because it's more visual medium, to be honest, for a writer at the same time, because you usually have to put images in someone else's head before writing. But comic books, if you find an art monkey, you could actually put those visuals into form.
I guess started reading comics simply escapism. Life sucks, so I started reading comics, and it went from a hobby to an addiction, and I'm still reading them now. It's getting bigger and bigger.
I like comics because, I don't know, it's a good way for me to read science fiction and so forth. It's always been, I've been a mythology fan. It's been kind of that for me, just how mythology keeps going on in my life. I got into comics when I was 4 because I bought this comic pack from, I think, Kmart at the time, and I've been hooked since.
No, I actually got into, I can't remember when my first comic, I think it was The Hulk, but I definitely got into comic because it was just something, it's like, as a kid, it's something easy to get into reading. you know, because it's got pictures and it's got some words. So it's like, great. The unfortunate thing is I never got into reading. So I still read comic books, but I won't read a goddamn book. Sorry.
Yeah, but I do read books. Unlike other people, I read books and comic books, and that's about it.
Well, with me, when I was a little kid, I would always go and like pick up like a Batman comic. I wasn't like really a collector. It was like I'd go with my dad to the grocery store, and there would be a big rack there, and I would like say, "Oh, Dad, can I get this?" And he would say, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So that was my first exposure to comic books. But I didn't actually get into collecting comic books until The Sandman came out. And my first comic book that I bought when collecting was with Sandman issue 1. And that came out just after my mom had died. And it introduced the character Death. And it affected me so much because I was 17 years old and my mom had died, and I just felt so. How do you like? It was just like it was a long illness, and it was a long lingering thing, and you're 17 years old and you fight with your parents, and and so there was a lot of guilt, and I kind of felt so much better to see that there was this idea of Death as being this nice person that helps you cross over. And when I moved up here, I went to a Neil Gaiman signing, and I brought all my ratty little comics with me, and I told him that story, and all he said was, "Thank you."